Let's take a look at the Tsuba or the handguard on the Saberforge Ronin lightsabers. So the Ronin lightsabers are a series of 3 different designs, at least as of the recording of this video. There's the MK1, 2, and 3. Now, the main difference among these 3 designs is the grip texture. So for MK1, there's this kind of horizontal grooved grip throughout. For MK3, you have this diamond knurled grip texture, and then MK2 is smooth, so that's kind of the primary difference there. You can see it's kind of a very practical katana-like lightsaber, and it is intended for dueling, so this is intended for even Saber Legion caliber dueling. Now if we take a look at the Tsuba specifically, there's a few different Tsuba designs, so I have 2 out of the 3 designs here. So on the left, this one is called Triforce, and on the right is the Saber Legion. If we take a closer look at Triforce, you can see that there's these cutouts in the top of the Tsuba, 3 of them surprisingly. So we have the sort of oval shaped cutouts here that wrap around. Oval or stadium shaped, they have those rounded ends to them. And the circle they form parallels sort of the circular shape of the Tsuba itself. So it's kind of an attractive design feature that way. Now this other Tsuba, this is called the Saber Legion. And not just because it says the Saber Legion on here. I think actually that may not be standard for it to come this way. Maybe it's an option, or I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I've seen this particular Tsuba on the Saberforge website where it's just blank, so it doesn't necessarily have that writing there. Now what makes this the Saber Legion design is that this is basically a solid Tsuba. It doesn't have the cutouts in it like the other 2 designs do. So you can see how that looks there. Now the third design that I don't have is called Rising Sun, and it has some cutouts in it. Instead of having the cutouts around the Tsuba, they extend out. So they're like little sunbeams, I guess, and that is perhaps why they call the third design the Rising Sun. That name is probably also a reference to a katana, a real-life katana, and the Japanese culture. Now how these Tsuba work is they are actually sort of an assembly. So they're not just the Tsuba itself, they're the Tsuba and the blade holder. So this piece is threaded, you can see that, and it attaches to the body of the hilt. And if you remove the Tsuba and the blade holder assembly, then you would need to find another emitter piece for that. Otherwise, you have just sort of this open end on the hilt. So that's a little different from some other companies. There are other companies that will sell a Tsuba as kind of its own piece. So it'll be sort of a flat disc by itself. And oftentimes you would kind of wedge the piece or kind of sandwich the piece between the hilt body and then the blade holder of the hilt. But with Saberforge, again, it's just this one piece. Now, another thing of note about this Tsuba is, well, since it's kind of a combination Tsuba blade holder, there's the retention screws at the top. Now there's 3 of them, so a lot of lightsaber hilts will typically use 1, but 3 of them is kind of nice. It gives you a little redundancy in the blade retention and just sort of more contact that way. So it makes it maybe, so the blade's a little bit more secure. But I think that's about it for now, you guys. So this is a look at 2 out of the 3 Tsuba that are available with the Saberforge Ronin lightsabers. And Saberforge has also released the Katana lightsaber, and they've had a few different versions of that. Now those have used a different style of Tsuba, but I think it's also potentially an assembly piece like this, but I'm not really sure. But at any rate, for the Ronin lightsabers, it's this combination blade holder Tsuba assembly, and there's 3 different designs. You've got the Triforce, the Saber Legion, and then the one not shown is called the Rising Sun, with kind of the flared out cutout pieces, just sort of like sunbeams. But feel free to comment below.